Hello YouTube, Size17 here, but you can just call me Travis, and welcome back for another collection update. It's been a few weeks since I've done one of these, so I thought I should get going and catch up. This one's going to be maybe fun. I'm not sure how it's going to go, as you can see probably in the title. I'm not drunk right now, but I probably will be by the end of this. Back the last one I did, I think it was like a couple months ago maybe. Was my drunk number 3 video, and Cloudy Malder was like, "What? Only 3?" So figured I'd do one for Cloudy. So my goal here is to take a shot every time I show one of the orders that I made. Originally, I mentioned this one actually last weekend, but I ended up getting some more stuff this week. And so, since I didn't do it last weekend, and the fact that I got more stuff this week, it's just too many individual items to do one per, and I would like to be alive / not just pass out at the end of the video. So, so we're gonna do one per order. It's still gonna be ridiculous. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I got nothing else to do. So let's get back. Let's get back. Let's start. All right. How am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do it? Yeah, let's do before each one. Okay. Got my hey Danny here, because I'm too weak. I'm not just gonna do straight shots. I'm much too soft for that. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so got the vodka here. Got a any Mariners shot glass. Mariners actually start the season. This upcoming next week. They play 2 games in Japan against the Oakland Athletics at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I've taken the days off so I can watch those games because, I don't know, it sounds like fun to watch baseball in the middle of the night. They actually did it maybe like, I don't know, 6 7 years ago, and it was fun. Alright, so here's the first one. Gonna mix it up with some, this video's gonna be really long, I apologize. Oh yeah, by the way, in the background, we're listening to From Fortune to Ruin by Nightfyre. This album rules. New album this year. Probably my favorite so far of the year. It's probably good enough. I'm probably going to spill all this. Alright, there we go. That's the first one. Wish me luck. Alright, first up. Record. This is the new one. They actually came out at the end of last year. The new one from Thrashquatch. Axe to Inherit is the title of the album. This is actually a band I came across maybe 2017, I think, maybe. As you might assume, they are a thrash metal band. I think they're out of California. I'm not really sure for sure, but yeah, let's go California. But again, I'm not really sure. Again, like I said, thrash metal, really good riffs. That's the thing I really like about this band a lot, is the riffs are super strong. Comes from this cool, like, I'm not sure what the actual name of it is, but it kind of makes me think of like beer and blood splatter. It looks kind of cool. Here's the back of the jacket. There's the guys in the band. There we go, you can see it better. Yeah, just really, like I said, the riffs are what I really super love about this band. They're really strong, really head bopping, really aggressive, good stuff. Soloing solid, vocals are solid. Yeah, it's just a really good, solid thrash album. I kind of feel like, unfortunately, these guys might get passed up by some people because of the name. I can see people sort of. You know, for the people who aren't into like the quote-unquote pizza thrash or whatever, I think people might associate this band based on their name Thrashquatch with that movement. And I don't know, maybe they would also consider that pizza thrash. I don't know. But anyway, for me, regardless, riff's killer. So if you're into thrash, check that shit out. All right, yeah.
We're the wrong way, you now want to decay.
Right, there we go. Next one up. Luckily, the next one has 4 releases in the order that I did, so I'll have to take another one of these for a second. much is there's not much left in here. Yeah, this is a terrible video, by the way. I can see already. All right, that's the end of that one. Yeah, that's probably enough. All right. And then order through Hoove Child Records. There was one release in particular that I was looking for, and I was gonna order it off Bandcamp, but it was an import. I think the label's out of like either Spain or Portugal. I'm not totally sure what's the label. It's what's it called? Oh, come on. I don't know. Anyway, I was gonna buy it on Bandcamp, but it was import, so you know the shipping was too much, and so I was like, okay, let me go through all my U.S. Heavy metal distros to see if anybody picked it up, and Hoove Child Records did, and so I was like, awesome, please send it my way, and I picked up some other stuff too. Before I actually show you that, well, actually let's show that first. All right, and that is the self-titled album by Traveler. This is a Canadian heavy metal band. This album just came out, I don't know, the beginning of the month, end of last month. This is also another heavy hitter from this year. Top 2 released so far, 2019. These guys are awesome. The riffs are excellent. The vocals are awesome. The soloing is fantastic. It really is just a all the way around solid release from these guys. There's not a weak track on here. There's the production also is super awesome. I in particular while listening to it, it sort of gave me an Arthur Rizek vibe, which there isn't really that many producers that are like doing stuff today where like I actually know their names and stuff, and like they have like, you know, I would be like, oh, that kind of sounds like so-and-so's production. You know, that's not really something that I'm really too keen on or paying attention to. And Arthur Rizek is someone who I'm paying attention to. Like, he did the Sumerlands self-titled. He did the Armor of Ire by Eternal Champion. He did Scourge of Vinyl's record with Nightfyre. They're his band. His production is really good, and I love it. I think he did the production for Power Strip's last album. So yeah, just the guy could do some good shit. Anyway, I thought it sounded like his production, so I went looking for names to see if it was possible that he did it. He didn't do the production, but it was, I see, produced by the guy, the actual guy in the band, Matt Rees, guitarist, also in the band Hrom. Incidentally, also mixed by Jan Lonchik, who's also in Hrom. Anyway, long-winded way to say the production is really awesome and sounds excellent, and I'm really into it. Definitely, if you like heavy metal, particularly anything that I typically recommend, you're not gonna fail with this one. This is a really excellent release. I will be surprised if this is in a top 10 by the end of the year, no doubt. A top 5 even, probably. This is just a really excellent, really strong heavy metal album all the way through. Released on Gates of Hell Records, it looks like. Here's the band. I don't know if I showed this or not. Anyway, self-titled, Traveler. Check it out. Alright. Yeah, I'll show these two together. So I picked up this one. This is the new EP by the album Gatekeeper. You know, I also picked at the same time. I picked up their album from last year, East of Sun. With this one, you know, I gotta say, this one was a very popular release amongst people who are into traditional heavy metal and the new wave of traditional heavy metal movement. You guys are from Canada as well. This one was a really popular release last year, and I gotta say, I listened to it, I don't know, like 10 times at least. And, you know, I liked it, but like, I don't know, it just never really hit like the way that everyone else seemed to talk about it. And it really bothered me, which is one of the reasons why I kept on trying it, because I was like, why does everyone else love this album and I don't? But, you know, I just didn't. And when this one was released on Bandcamp, I thought, you know, what the hell, I'll check it out. And like immediately, I loved this release. I was like, I don't understand how I like this one, but don't like the other one. So when I bought this one, I was like, fuck it, buy this one too, and cross fingers and hope for the best. Let's talk about this one first. Like I said, this is the new EP. Grey Maiden is the title. Woo! Is the title of it. One thing I really love about this album in particular is I really love this album art. I think it looks really cool. I'm gonna hold it really still for 1 second. Maybe it'll be one of the automatics. One thing, I don't know if it shows up very well on camera. One of the things that I love about this art is the way the guy draws the moss on the trees. I think it just looks like really, I don't know, it just looks incredible to me. And it's funny, actually, I realized after making that observation that there's actually the third track on here is actually called Moss, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, 4 tracks on here. 3, as far as I didn't really look, I guess, but as far as I assumed, 3 new tracks, and then 1 cover of a song called, what's it called? Richard III, originally by Tredegar, which I'm not familiar with that band. It's Tredegar. I'm not familiar with the band. Anyway, it's covered their song, Richard III. Anyway, like I said, super into this release. I liked it a lot. The guitar work particularly, and also the solos are really what stood out for me. The solo on Richard III, even though it's not their song, that's just a killer solo. So kudos to them for picking a cool cover that highlights their ability to do some awesome stuff. So yeah, this is the new EP, Grey Maiden by Gatekeeper. All right, then like I said, they picked up their album from last year, East to Sun. One thing that I thought was very interesting is I'd probably had looked at this album art, a picture of it online, you know, probably, I don't know, 50 plus times over the last, 12 months or whatever. I'm not sure when it came out, or I think early last year, but 50 plus times for sure. And it wasn't until I actually got the CD, it wasn't until I actually posted it on Instagram, and I was looking at my own picture on Instagram, that I noticed this figure out in the distance here. For all the time, I had noticed the guy running up the thing, I had noticed this dude up here, and I sort of just didn't even notice this whole dude floating out here in the air out there. So that's pretty crazy. Anyway, listen to this a few times. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 since picking it up, and it has grown on me a little bit more. In particular, the songs Swan Roan Saga and the last track, Hall of the Mountain King. Those 2 tracks I really love a lot. I think mostly because the soloing and lead work is just like really fantastic in those tracks. I do think part of what I think I've decided is part of what it's made it hard for me to get into this album a lot, is I feel like the first half is not as strong as the last half. I'm not sure if I was really showing these or not. I don't feel like the first half is as strong as the second half, and in particular, I feel like the first 2 songs are the weakest for me particularly. And I don't know, maybe that's it, maybe it's not, I'm not sure, but it has grown on me a little bit, but it still is just like an okay album for me. Again, I actually am really into the songs, like I said, Swan Road Saga and Hall of the Mountain King, but otherwise, it's still sort of just, I don't know, I can't explain it. I'm not sure, I can't explain how I like the EP, but I'm only sort of into this a little bit. I don't know. Solid stuff though. Definitely, I'm in the minority on this, on my opinion. Everyone who's into heavy metal loves this album, so definitely, if you haven't done it yet, check out this album, East to Sun by Gatekeeper, and then check out the EP, Grey Maiden by him too, because you're probably gonna like that as well. Alright, yeah, one more release that I picked up from Hoove Records when I was getting my order in. This is the most recent album from the band Castle. This also came out last year. This is called Deal Thy Fate. I think this is an American band. I think they're an American band. If they're not, they're from England. But I don't know why I have that sort of in my back of my mind. I'm pretty sure they're American. I'm pretty sure it's just a 2-piece. It's just those two peeps there. I've sort of been familiar with this artist. I listened to one of their older albums, maybe like, I couldn't tell you the title off the top of my head right now, but I would say it probably came out like 2012, 2014, somewhere in that range. I'm not totally sure. These guys sort of are I would say their general main genre is like a traditional doom sounding stuff, but particularly on this release, They definitely have a high influx of traditional heavy metal. Let's see if I can get the image to show. Sort of. Definitely an influx of a more traditional heavy metal sound on here, which I really super like a lot. They both do vocals. I definitely prefer what's her? I'm not sure what her name is. Liz Blackwell is what her name is. I definitely prefer her vocals to Matt Davis's. His are fine, but I definitely prefer hers. But yeah, the riffs are really what are hooking me on this release. When I was trying to like fill out an order, you know, pick up something else, and I saw this and I was like, you know, I hadn't listened to Castle in a while, so I'm not sure if I listened to it on Bandcamp or I listened to it on Facebook on YouTube or something somewhere. But I ended up listening to like half of it, and I was like, man, this riffs are so good. Instant order was like $10, so why not? Anyway, awesome stuff. If you're into traditional heavy metal with a little bit, or the opposite, if you're into some traditional doom with a lot of heavy metal influences with it, definitely check out this album, Deal Thy Fate by Castle. And yep, I realize now that I didn't stop at all between any of the releases, so here's 4 clips in a row.
Blinding lights, how it burns my eyes. Here and now we make our stand against the wind toward new sand through mist. Elastic crown upon your head.
All right, one more thing before we move on to the next shot. Also in my Hoove Child Records order, I got this little awesome note. I will read it to you here. This at the top here is a logo for Midnight Dice. Midnight Dice debut single coming spring 2019. New band with 4 members from Satan's Hollow. My assumption is, actually I looked it up. It's everyone except for Vaughn Jugel, and I think it's the. Oh, is it the original bassist or is it the bassist that joined afterward? I think it's the bassist that joined afterward. I'm not totally sure on that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's everyone except for Vaughn Jugel from Satan's Hollow, which, if you don't remember, was my top #1 favorite album of 2017. Just awesome, killer, all-time heavy metal album. So obviously I'm super jacked for this to come out. Digital and cassette April, May on Hoove Child Records, so I'll be looking out for that. I'll definitely let you know, or when I see it or whatever. 7-inch vinyl August, September on Underground Power Records, and that is the label that released their CD the first time around. And then there's some links down here. If you'd like to check that stuff out. So yeah, definitely, I'm excited about that. Midnight Dice. That'll be awesome. All right. Next order up. Ugh. All right. Yeah. Again, this terrible video here we're going. I'm going to turn this up, I think. Mistress, Moonlight Child, Mistress. Seriously, check out this album. No, I just poured it. Oh yeah, I already did it already. Wow, it's getting bad already. Yeah, this Nightfyre album, like, this is so good. Like, again, I've mentioned this a couple times about the band. Really like the sort of Metallica-y influences that I'm hearing when I check out this band. And it's really, yeah, this album is really great. So check it out, Nightfyre. What's the name of it again? I already forgot. From Fortune to Ruin. Wow, this is gonna be bad. All right, next up. This album is from the band Hrom, also from Canada. As you can see, Canada just kills it when it comes to the new wave of traditional heavy metal scene. Definitely Canada, number one slot. Canada kills it. Hrom, This is an awesome release. This is entitled Legends of Powerheart Part 1. This is a re-release version. It's like a CDR version the band put out, but happy to pick it up because the other versions were not available. Comes on a cool little J card here. Lyrics, band photo. Awesome stuff. True heavy metal. Great vocals. Jan Lonchik, who I mentioned when I was talking about the Traveler band, is really the, I would say, the main guy behind the band. He sort of was like the main, only guy originally, but now it's full band. Actually, who I previously mentioned, also when talking about the Traveler, Matt Rees, also a guitarist in this band. So really, I would say probably by this point it's a full-fledged band. I don't want to give too much credit to Jan, even though he's super talented, but yeah, just cool stuff. Vocals sound great. Jan's vocals are awesome. Actually, it looks like Jan does play drums on this release. So seriously, Jan just is freaking talented. Riffs are awesome. Soloing's awesome. In particular, Power of the World. That song, like every time that song comes on, yeah, just every single time, I'm just like super pumped up about that song. Yeah, not much else to really say. Just a super solid, cool heavy metal release. Hrom, Legends of Powerheart Part 1. I'm excited because I'm pretty sure Part 2 is in the works right now. So hopefully that'll be released sometime soon, maybe 2019 even. We'll see. But yeah, check this album out. I will leave a link, as I always do for everything. Alright, next one up. Yeah. See, when I do these in little sections, it makes it difficult for me to realize how long these videos actually end up are. Oh yeah, this is the song that most. This is a Metallica riff. Let me turn this shit up. Tell me this isn't a Metallica riff? This is a Metallica riff, I'm sorry. Kind of sounds like James too. Or sings like him. All right, next one up. Was looking to pick up this order, or pick up this album. If I did an order through Hell's Headbangers. Was glad to see that they had actually I hadn't realized it, but they actually had signed this band. They had previously, I think they had previously done their, I think they maybe actually had done their cassette through Hoove Records, and maybe a previous release they'd maybe done through Swords and Chains, maybe. I'm not totally sure, but anyway, full-length album from this band, debut full-length album from this band from this year, awesome stuff, and that is Uncivilized by the band Pounder. I think I'm almost certain these guys are from the U.S. These guys are traditional heavy metal, definitely with a heavy dose of speed with their sound. Awesome stuff. I gotta say, like, I had previously liked the material that I had heard from the band because I think it was like I think they had like a demo, then maybe like an EP or something. I can't remember for sure, but you know, there was a band that was on my radar, and I had liked, but I just hadn't ever picked up any of their stuff. And then this popped up on Bandcamp, and I'm pretty sure the only track that they had released when it first came out was the title track, Uncivilized. And man, I can't remember for sure, but let's assume it's true. And if we assume that's true, man, that's a great decision because man, that song just like rules super hard. The solo is will definitely probably end up on my end of the year list for solos because just a killer solo. Great stuff. The riffs just like totally rip. The soloing is pretty solid. The vocals, you know, they're very speed metal. They get the job done. This is just a really cool release all the way through. There's actually sort of even a couple songs that are more like they're not quite ballads, but they're like a little more like rock and roll sing-songy, if for lack of a better phrase, I guess we'll go with. They're not just like totally ripping the whole time, I guess is a better way to go about it. And so that's kind of cool. I sort of sometimes bristle at those tracks, particularly if they're on sort of the middle of the album. Sort of, mostly if those tracks are going to exist, I like them towards the end typically, and they are kind of in the middle of this album too. And I sort of do wish they were towards the end, but they're in general I would say that they're not as they're more aggressive than maybe those typical tracks are. So the fact that they're in the middle of the release isn't as much of a detractor, either of those two words for me. Anyway, if you're into speed metal, traditional heavy metal, or just stuff that just rips hardcore, Uncivilized by Pounder. This will be in my list. But this actually is a power-packed list of stuff that will be on my end of the year list, I'm sure. Pounder will be on my list at the end of the year, almost guaranteed. Uncivilized, Pounder, check it out. All right. At the same time, picked up another release that I had been just putting off forever. Yeah, I'll jump in. This is the debut album, maybe like 2016 maybe this came out. I don't know. The debut album from the band Vaultwraith. What is it? Death is Proof of Satan's Power. This is a killer release from the brainchild of Billy and Vanessa Nocera, who I absolutely love. They all go by pseudonyms on this release, and so actually, to be honest, I really only knew that those two were they were involved in this release when I bought it. Actually, after having looked it up and seeing that the person who goes by the pseudonym of the Warlock, finding out that it was Willie Wardlaw jacked me up, because the album that he did with Vanessa of Wooden Stake, the most recent album, what is it called? Man, Beast of Virgin Soul, something like that. Anyway, that album just like freaking rips, and so I was jacked up to find out that Willie Wardlaw was also involved on this release. And yeah, this album is just totally awesome. The riffs are fantastic. There's even a good healthy dosage of soloing, which I appreciated a lot. As usual, Billy Nocera's vocals are great, but man, I really realized while listening to this album, death metal isn't really like, in terms of the metal subgenres, death metal isn't at the top at all. And so I was really realizing while listening to this album that, I feel like it's very possible, Vanessa Nocera, like, favorite death metal vocalist ever? Maybe. It's possible. But definitely she's in the running. I just absolutely love her vocals. All-time vocals, just fantastic. Yeah, awesome stuff. I knew that I needed to pick this up because they're working on it might even be done, actually, the new Vaultwraith album. I think it's going to come out this year. I've seen them post stuff on Instagram of the album covers and stuff like that, so it definitely is in the works and on the way. So I knew that I needed to pick this up so I could be caught up for when the new album came out. So yeah, Death is Proof of Satan's Power by Vaultwraith. Awesome, riffy as fuck death metal with killer vocals. Pretty much anything that Billy and Vanessa are involved in is good. So check it out. Next one up. Luckily, again, we have another two album order, because we're getting there. But I still have quite a few to go, and man, I don't know how many I've taken already, maybe like 4 or 5. So it's bad news bears for me right now. By the way, in case anyone cares, it's like, I don't know, what, like 11 a.m.? Not even that. I don't think it's even that late in the day. So, just so you know, I'm like drinking it like super early in the morning. I promise I'm non-alcoholic. Though I'm sure this video, plus the fact that I'm using handle, doesn't really give me any proof or whatever. I'm not sure how to explain what I mean. All right. Next up, a couple synthwave releases. Yeah. Okay. So this is the new release that came out this year. This is Suncore by Niky 9 or Nike 9. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name for sure. Also a little, I'm not sure. Just ignore the crash case. Even though it's sort of it's what's the word that I want? Stylized on the front here with a digit. I've seen pretty much everywhere the 9 is actually spelled out in words, so I don't know. That is whatever it is. Anyway, this is actually a really cool release. This is I think it's his debut album from this artist off of as Farley might enjoy, Laserdisc Records. This is a new release from this year. Yeah, here's the back. Inside cover, and here's the back. This is a cool release. This is a very well-rounded release. I have to say that actually. So I'll just ramble. So this popped up because I follow Laserdisc Records on Bandcamp. This record popped up. I don't know, because I think it was released in January, and I think it initially had a few tracks available for me to listen to, and so I listened to those few tracks, and I did like it, but the shipping was kind of, I don't know, a little too brutal for me, so I never really jumped at buying this. And then I don't know. Eventually, I think that the whole thing was released, and I listened to the whole thing, and I liked it, and I think I still was sort of balking at purchasing it, and then actually, I think what happened was another release that this label put out. I had previously thought it was sold out, and there wasn't a whole lot of things I really wanted to buy from this label, and so which was the reason why I didn't originally purchase the thing that I thought was sold out previously, because it was an EP, and I didn't really feel like paying the butchering shipping for the EP. And so, anyway, like I said, I previously thought it was sold out. Maybe they got new copies. I'm not really totally sure what happened. But anyway, I realized, oh, it's not sold out. So I added it to my order. The shipping was still brutal, but at least I was getting 2 discs. So put the order in and got this in. You know, and I listened to this a few times, and you know, I mildly enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything that I super was into, like a mega lot. Like I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like Suncore, like, you know, listening to it nonstop. It wasn't happening. But I will say, like last, like even like I would say 3 or 4 days, I've like listened to this album like a super lot, and I feel like it really has like popped into like the like a good frame of mind for me. Like it's just a very well-rounded record. There's a good amount of like synthwave, electro, like almost kind of like techno-y, like kind of parts to it. I just feel like there's like a really good like mixture of things going on and stuff. One thing that I think that I really like about this record is that it's aggressive while at the same time being like really laid back at the same time. I'm not sure really how to explain that or anything, but that's sort of the vibe I get from it, is that it's sort of a a really like kind of aggressive dark synthy record, but at the same time it like does a really good job of kind of like projecting that style in a very like laid back, chill kind of way. I don't know. Over the last few days, I've just been really enjoying this album a lot, and yeah. Anyway, if that sounds interesting, Nike 9, however you wanna. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but yeah. Anyway, Suncore, awesome release from 2014 or 2014. Wow, 2019 this year, awesome release. Nike 9, Suncore. All right, and then to get to that release that I mentioned previously, that I thought had previously been sold out, but I saw they had copies of it. This is an album that came out, I think, in 2017. This is Castroe with Less Than Zero. I'm really into this album cover. This is a good album cover. Anyway, this is a simply project. I'm pretty sure this guy's out of England. I think, pretty sure. Not totally sure. Actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Actually, I think this guy's out of the U.S. Laserdisc Records is out of England. I'm pretty sure that actually the artist is a solo guy out of the U.S. I think. I'm trying to decide. No, I think that's different. I'm wondering if this is a... I'm just now realizing. I wonder if this is a continuing image. I originally did think that this building and this building were the same, but the clouds are different. So I'm thinking this is just one big image. I just now realize that now. Anyway, cool stuff. If you watched my last monthly rewind video, you'll see that the song Debt from this release was my most played album, most played song in February. So anyway, cool stuff. Remix song for the last track, which whatever, I don't really care about. But anyway, cool stuff. Cool synthwave. The first three tracks in particular on this release were super cool for me, and I enjoyed them a lot. Anyway, yeah, Less Than Zero, Castroe, Laserdisc Records, cool stuff. Check it out if you like synthwave. All right. Next one up. This is it's 1, 2, 4 more. I got 4 more. 4 more orders, all individual releases. So I got 4 more to go. This is bad news bears. What I'm curious about is this video so long that I'm gonna need to put on something else in the background because this album's gonna be over. Have I mentioned that you should check out this Nightfyre album? Because you should. All right. This next one up was an album that I had. This came out last year. Black metal album, symphonic black metal, Finland. Really super hyped. This is an album I've been wanting to check out. Because like I said, super hyped, like all of last year. I think a lot of people thought this actually came out at the end of 2017, but actually it came out at the very beginning of 2018. And yeah, this album was super hyped like all year. And I think a lot of times what happens with me is albums that are like super mega hyped, I sort of you know, that part of like the counterculture, not following the trend metal person in me, sort of like is like, oh, hype, ignore the hype, and I never checked it out, and then Out of Season was like, hey, we got in some cool stuff that's not from us, and one of the things was a CD version of this album, and I was like, you know what, I love giving money to Out of Season, so here we go, pick it up. And this is the cool release. This is a Netherstorm from Vargrav. As I said, this is a black metal band from Finland, symphonic black metal, one-man project. What's the dude's name? Do I actually know it? Oh yeah, it's like V-Kooz. Khooz. I'm not sure you pronounce that, but that's... I'll show it here. Here you go. You can look it up. Right. That guy, Kooz. How do you say that guy's name? Anyway. You know what? I gotta say, the hype is fucking real with this release. The hype is really fucking real. The keyboards... I know that everyone, pretty much every single person who's ever talked about this release was like, okay, I realize I'm saying symphonic black metal, and I realize that means there's keyboards, and maybe that makes you think of, I don't know, I guess maybe Cradle of Filth and Boogie, and you're like, oh, too trendy! But, fuck it, who cares? The keyboards are freaking epic. They sound so good. Like, the keyboards are what make this release awesome. The vocals and the riffs for this black metal release, they're solid. They're really good. But man, the keyboards are what make this release. It sounds freaking epic. So good. Like, seriously, like, the keyboards that begin the title track, which is Netherstorm, again. Instantaneously, I knew, man, the hype is real. I knew instantaneously. The hype is fucking real. Yeah, this album is just so good. I've only listened to maybe even 3 or 4 times since picking it up, but man, this album is just really good. So if like me, you're one of those jackasses who are like, oh, I'm gonna ignore the hype. I'm gonna ignore the hype. Don't ignore the hype. The hype is real. The hype is really, really, really real. Check it out. Netherstorm, Vargrav. You think I'd have this shit set up for when I'm doing this stuff. Wow. All right. Yeah. Okay. We got 3 more. I'm gonna make it. I think. It's easy to say that right now. Anyway. I think this album's over. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put on a new album. We're now listening to Into the Unknown by Starfarer. I'm pretty sure that Nightfyre album's 47 minutes or something. So the fact that that we've listened to the whole thing means this video is probably gonna be an hour long, which is not good. We'll see if anyone watches the whole thing or not. I don't really look at the analytics really on my videos, but I might look on this one to see if anyone actually watches the whole thing or not. I'm not really sure what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. All right. Next release up. I showed this out the second album this band released a few weeks ago. I think maybe my last collection update. But this is their first album. This is Outre-Tombe with Répurgation. Like I said last time, I think all the lyrics and stuff are in the Quebec, the dialect that the people in Quebec speak, which again is going to be butchered by B, but it's like Quebecois, which is somewhere. I put it up here. Anyway, this is a cool, awesome death metal band out of Canada. Like, Canada is just like this whole, not only in this video, but just like in metal, Canada is just killing it. And this album's no different. This is just a fantastic, awesome death metal release. This album came out, I don't know, 2017 maybe, 2016 at the latest, or earliest, I think maybe. Just awesome release. Again, I would compare this band sort of to Hooded Menace, but less in a doomy way. They're more of a they're more like Hooded Menace if they just played like a straight up old school death metal sound. I'm not gonna really spend a whole lot of time talking about this artist, but Outre-Tombe, Répurgation, or however you pronounce that word, just another super solid death metal release. So if you had listened to the album they released last year called Necro Vortex, if you liked that one, check out this one too, because it's just as good. Just super solid old school death metal out of Canada. Outre-Tombe, Répurgation. Check it out. All right, one more CD, one more cassette, and then we're gonna be done. My wife went out shopping. I told her, when you get back, I might be wasted. Might. Yep. Definitely wasted. Alright. We got two more. Alright. Next one up. This is an album that came up, popped up on my YouTube, I don't know, probably sometime last year. Early to middle last year. And the thing that popped out to me in particular was the album cover. And I was like, that's a fucking cool album cover. I need to listen. I don't know what this is, but I need to check it out. And it ended up being not anything that was like super like amazing, awesome, but an album that was pretty cool, and that I wanted to pick it up. And you know, it's sort of been just like watching it for like the last year or whatever, and finally a pretty good price popped up on Discogs, and I jumped at it, and yeah, I got it now. This is the album Bad Widow by Cacumen. I'm not sure how you pronounce that for sure, but Cacumen, you can look at the word right here and you can figure it out for yourself. I really like this album cover. I enjoy the metal guy wearing the spiked bracer, and then the I'm assuming a woman who is the Bad Widow, wearing the high heel red shoe, wearing the I don't know what you call the stocking, or I'm not sure I'm blanking on the word right now, but the whatever she's wearing on her feet, doesn't matter. But that heel is just like stabbing into the guy's hand. There's a little bit of blood there, you can see it. Like, she's fucking that guy's hand up for sure. Anyway, awesome stuff. Like, in terms of what this album sounds like, it's definitely more of I wouldn't even say it's heavy metal. It's definitely more of like a hard rock album. It definitely like is on the edge of that genre, hard rock, heavy metal. But if forced to choose, it definitely is on the hard rock side. This is the reissue version of this album. Whatever. The thing that's really, the riffs are really good on this album. That's the thing that that's the thing that makes this almost a heavy metal album, is that the riffs are pretty strong. There's a good amount of soloing. It's like porn. It's one of those things like, when you see it, like it's just a hard rock album. It's a hard rock album, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It's really super enjoyable. Definitely, if you're into heavy metal, I think you can enjoy this album. They eventually went on, as you can see on the back here. They went this band Cacumen. They went on to they're from Germany. They went on to change their name to Bonfire. Maybe you know them. I don't really know them. This is the only album I've really listened to by this band. But anyway, Cacumen, Bad Widow, cool stuff, good riffs, good soloing, solid vocals, just cool stuff overall. Definitely check it out if you haven't done that. Alright, we got one more. I'm gonna make it. And this one's like, I wouldn't say it's actually a grail, but it's about as close as you can come to a grail without actually being one. So you might as well even call it a grail, because it's pretty cool. Well, it's pretty cool for me. I don't know, actually. Well, I think most of you actually are gonna be like, that's really lame and not cool at all, dude. But for me, it's awesome and pretty much a grail. So take that however you would like. I'm so glad that I'm on to 4 shots. Alright, last one. Like I said, pop album, US artist, super well known. This is Blackout by Britney Spears. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I think most of the people that probably watch my channel probably hate Britney Spears, or at least think they do. But personally, I love Britney Spears. Definitely one of my favorite pop artists of all time. And Blackout, I don't know if it's my favorite pop album of all time, but it definitely might be. It definitely might be. Last year, sometime, I was looking to buy some records for a friend of mine who had recently, or at least in terms of my interpretation, I recently had gotten into buying records, and I really wanted to feed into that buying record thing for them. And so I looked for a few records to buy for them. And because of the fact that we both had gotten into pop music about the same time, and this record, Blackout by Britney Spears in particular, had been one of the albums we both had super loved at the time we were both getting into pop music. I went to look to see if there was actually a vinyl copy of Blackout, and they didn't exist. But I did find out that there was cassette versions of Blackout, and I was like, man, right now these are ridiculously priced, but someday I'm gonna own them. And now I do. This is a release that was released out of Indonesia. It says they're for Indonesia sales only, but I got it, so I don't know. Maybe I broke a law. I don't know. There are a couple other versions of this release. One is from China. It is the unofficial release as Discogs. I know. I'm sorry, Darla. The China release is unofficial. I think it's a bootleg. So I probably will never own that one because you can't purchase it on Discogs. So I don't know. I don't know how else to find it. But there's also a Malaysian cassette, which I will someday would like to purchase. But I'm super happy to pick up finally this Indonesian cassette version of Blackout. Let's look at the cassette real quick because actually it's super funny. Ignore my dog who's super unhappy right now. What's super interesting about this release is that like there's like no information at all on the cassette at all. Like it talks about like the label, like oh it's Sony BMG Music Entertainment. You can actually see right here it says made in Indonesia. But like it doesn't say Britney Spears, it doesn't say Blackout, there's like no tracks or anything on here at all. It's totally fucking weird. Also one thing I thought was interesting was that on the actual J card itself, it's called Side A and Side B. Let's see if I can show that. There you go. You can see Side B at least. So Side A and Side B, and yet when you look at the actual cassette itself, it's Side 1 and Side 2. It's almost like a Biff McAllister A2D kind of thing going on. But anyway, cool stuff. I finally listened to the cassette version yesterday at home. It was cool. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time showing this shit, but here's the folded out J card of the release. One thing that was kind of a I don't know, for lack of a better term, I'll use mindfuck for me. Was hopefully, this is not folding. I know, Darla, it's a really hard time. One thing that really messed with my brain, at least, was oh, I shouldn't have folded this. Was the way that the tracks look on the back of the. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, okay, here we go. So initially, when I was listening to this, I was like, "Oh shit, is this like?" Because initially when I saw the cassette and I saw that like there was no artist or album or track listings or anything, I was kind of weirded out, but I was like, whatever. But then when I was listening to it and I saw that, like, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Why is Get Naked, I Got a Plan on side A? I was like really weirded out. But then I just realized that it was just below the spot where the thing pops out in the J card. And so actually they just list the stick. I'm so drunk right now. They just list the 6th track below the hole, and initially I thought it was part of side B, and so I was weirded out. But it actually is the 6th track on side A. So there you go. Anyway, I'm not gonna continue going on for much longer. Cool stuff. Britney Spears, Blackout, top favorite pop album of all time. Awesome stuff. If you don't like pop music, fuck you. If you do like pop music, awesome. And actually, I'm sorry. I didn't mean fuck you if you don't like pop music. But that's how, yeah. Britney Spears, Blackout.
It's Britney, bitch.
Alright, that's all I got for this week. Check out the links below or whatever. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're not if you are familiar with any of the releases I talked about here today, please let me know what you think of them, and otherwise, have a good day.